Hello everybody, welcome back to another 3D Hangouts, episode 180, flexible wireless charging.
That's right, today we're going to be looking at wireless charging in your car.
We'll do some prototype stuff.
And some cute Ada Lego. All that and more on 3D Hangouts.
Run the intro.
Excellent.
Hey, there we go. Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Hangout. I'm Noah Ruiz, the designer here at Adafruit. Joining me every week is Mr. Pedro.
What's going on everybody? I'm Pedro Ruiz, creative tech carrier at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right, this is where we combine 3D printing and DIY electronics, and we try to do this show live. Thank you everybody for joining us today. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Thank you so much for joining us. We are live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Periscope. So, hello everybody. We'll try our best to chat with you guys on all of the different channels, but the best one that we're showing right here is YouTube. We'll start off the show with a very special coupon code. It's Cheetah. That's right.
This week's coupon code Cheetah gets 10% off your order.
Speaking of orders, we still got those freebies going on. If you go to the website, adafruit.com/free, you'll find that very same photo, but with more details on exactly what you get. If you spend some monies with us, we will give you some freebie stuff.
All right, a couple of different tiers, and at each other tier, you get the one before that. So definitely worth it if you are loading up your cart.
Yeah.
Get some nice freebies on that.
Yeah, if you order a printer, because they're more than $200, you can get free shipping on that if you're in the U.S. continental. So super cool deals. We also have same-day delivery for fine folks in New York City. You got to order at a certain time, certain zip codes. Go to the website if you want that option. Okay. We also got the Adafruit daily news, daily content. If you want to subscribe to that, you kind of have to do it manually. Adafruitdaily.com. It's its own website. It's its own subscription thing you got to do. But if you want that, you can totally do so. Different categories like CircuitPython, 3D printing, biohacking, and even wearables. We have a product-specific newsletter. It's called the New Newsletter. Adafruit.com/newsletter for that one. We're going to go ahead and jump into this week's project. Or do you want to chat with people first? Do we have anything?
Just quick shout outs to everybody in the YouTube chat. We got Mattable.
Hello, Mattable.
Act, Imagine to Form, Apt Pupil is driving, so don't look at your phone.
Yeah.
Call in,
We'll
Kitten, Carnival, Pat Hopkins, Scoot Rocks. Thank you all for joining.
Yes, and we all need coffee as well.
Yes, Christian Martinez. Yes, I got mine ready, although unfortunately it's already cooling down.
Yeah. I want to do a quick check on the feed. Let's go to the Facebook feed and see if it's actually coming through. I have a black screen.
Oh yeah, that's actually where I check my audio.
Sweet. It's just a problem with Chrome. So anyway, it's a live show and we tend to want to double check some things. Maybe our audio is muted, that sort of stuff. It tends to happen. It is a live show, but take this opportunity to shout you guys out and say thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, I do need a USB coffee warmer. Actually make a good project with the
Yeah,
Peltiers.
we need to do that. We've been talking about it, but yeah, we need to do it.
Let's go ahead and jump into this week's project. Super handy wireless Qi charger-free car.
Yeah.
In this case, it was modeled for the Tesla Model 3. We talked about it last week. There were some, design flaws in the center console in terms of
There were
holding your
opportunities.
phone. There were some opportunities.
Which you should see it as, yes.
You have video of, I hope,
Of what?
of it falling through the console.
That was last week. I took those out.
Yeah, hopefully you guys saw that. That was the major reason behind that, but also because of the way that the USB cables are routed through, a little bit clumsy when you're driving around. So wireless Qi charger, which is surprisingly, I don't know why they did not include that. Pretty cheap, it's $20. We have it in the shop. You have all the specs for the amps that it's able to provide on there. And we're using a Ninjaflex mat to have a nice little grippy texture on that. And it charges at 1.3, 1.4 amps, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, you get your normal charging out of it, and well, you can really use it for just not your phone, but other devices that have Qi charging built in. So that works really well.
Yeah.
A lot of the Android devices have had it for some time, so that's cool. And we just started using it a lot on our iPhones, and it works really well.
So the big deal about why we use TPU on this project is because we did it on a Bowden extruder on the Ultimakers.
So what is that? What's a Bowden extruder for the folks that don't know?
So instead of direct drive extruder where it's like right up next to the nozzle, this is like a little further away.
The motor, the stepper motor is like directly feeding it into the... It's a little bit harder to do this with flexibles, right? We've been trying to use TPU on our Ultimakers and BCN 3Ds. Why is it different now? Like, it's working much better. What's happened?
They've spent a lot of time finally updating, fine-tuning their profiles. Ultimaker has spent a lot of time on that. We tried getting those to work, but it was a combination of the firmware and their profiles that has finally made these projects.
Hardware hasn't really changed as much. Same stepper motors, same nozzles.
Yeah.
So you're able to print this pretty good quality TPU Cheetah Ninjaflex. So what is Cheetah Ninjaflex? It's a little bit it's less elastic than the original Ninjaflex, but it's still very flexible.
Yeah.
And it has some other properties, like it can cling to surfaces. We've used TPU Cheetah Ninjaflex specific to make things like our Lego tape, where we were sticking it to the wall and you can hold some weight to it. So we've been doing a lot of cool things with TPU Filament, and this is just another example of what you can do with it. So for car use, like automobiles, vehicles, it's out in the hot sun. At least for us it is.
Yeah.
That means if you're using something like PLA, that's probably going to melt in the car, especially in the car. I mean, it gets really hot in the car. So Ninjaflex has that extra property of being able to withstand heat, keeps its shape, it won't melt, and it's kind of indestructible. You can run this over with your car many, many times. Not that you should, but you could, and it'll retain its shape. Yeah.
Another reason why I mistakenly said, oh yeah, this would work with PLA, but it will definitely not, because the way that you have to insert it into your console, you actually have to bend.
Yeah, show us the kind of slotted...
And then the slot that actually holds the coil plate, you actually have to bend this back to pop it in there.
Yeah, you can't do that with PLA. If you do, it'll break.
Yeah, there's no way to do that with PLA. I couldn't figure out another way to have
You would need an additional mount that you would maybe screw into it. Just more complexity to it.
Yeah, it would be two parts. Then you would have to have like some of that screws in.
So don't try to print this in PLA, because the thing won't fit.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a lot like those phone cases. We released phone cases. We always design a phone case to test out Ninjaflex, Cheetah, and people still print it with PLA, and they're like, hey, this doesn't work. It's like, you kind of got to read the thing. Like, we need to put more big warnings, like, do not print this with PLA. This is for TPU.
Yeah.
There's different types of TPU, but Cheetah is going to be the one that we like.
We have two different versions.
That's why.
We have two different versions. One that is set up for dual extrusion, and one where you can print the little symbol or whatever you want to do.
I like this version more. Right?
It just
it's
snaps
more accessible.
Right in.
It snaps right in. You can change out the design. So one of the things why I suggested, hey, Pedro, you should put a little thing in there, because we don't necessarily know exactly where the coil is. So this gives you an indicator of where you're charging, where you need to land your phone.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of dark in there. Kind of matches the rest of the interior. It's all nice black and sleek.
All the Fusion 360 files are available in case you want to make this into a dual charger, because there is enough room to have two of these on there.
Yeah.
We just didn't do it because we didn't have an extra one. And in our case, when we're driving, the passenger usually
has it in their hand.
Yeah, wants to have their phone anyway. Exactly. So it wouldn't make any sense to have an additional charger on there when we're not really going to use it. We're going to have it in our hand, plugged in. Another cool thing that this actually made us look into is checking out what port is actually providing more amps to the charger. And we have this neat little thing called a charge doctor in the store. Lamar used this for testing out the power boost to see how many amps were coming out. And it's super handy just so you're aware of how much power each of the ports in your car is providing. We thought they would be, pretty much all the same, but it turns out there's differences between the ports that are in the front of the car and the ports that are in the back, and even between the driver's side and the passenger side.
Right.
So that's a little, just good to know in case you need to charge up like really fast. we now know what port to plug it into. So what we're looking at here is the front passenger side console. It's providing about 1.38
Not really, 1.1.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, sorry.
It's weird because when we tested it, when we didn't record it, it's like camera shy.
Yeah.
It was getting more. It was getting like 1.2. But then when we filmed it, it went down to 1.1.
Yeah, the
It
numbers
could be because the phone was already fully charged. There's
Yeah.
a lot of different things.
So the numbers that I was saying, 1.4, that's when you're directly plugged in with a cable. This is what the Qi charger is able to pull out.
Right.
So obviously there is going to be differences between the charging wirelessly and charging wired.
Right.
But the
one on the back,
one in the back,
the back seats, they
back
have
seats.
two USB chargers. You can see that it's actually a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe. There
Yeah,
it goes,
1.4.
1.4. Okay. And I was able to get it at 1.8 at one point. And then when I wanted to film it again, it was
At night, yeah.
But it was weird. Maybe it was at night, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It could be because maybe we weren't driving.
We
maybe
weren't
the
really
time of
driving
day.
either.
I don't understand. And yeah, it's hard to plug something in when you're filming it.
Mm-hmm. So nice, handy little tool to check out if you want to take a look at what your ports in your car are.
Yeah.
So now I know right away if I'm like, I want to charge up, say like the drone, you can plug it in through USB.
You know which one to use.
I know to use the back USB port on the driver's side will give you more amps.
Okay.
And then if I want to charge up quickly in the front port, I'll use the passenger side USB port because that'll provide more.
Cool. Yeah, it's a neat little tool. Lamar actually got these in the shop because she was using them a lot when she was developing the Power Boost line of boards. So that's really cool. We've had one, but we haven't really used it. This is a nice kind of use case. Kind of mixes well with it. So we do have it in shops, about $8.
Mm-hmm.
And
Definitely handy to have. We also have another one. If you scroll down a little bit, it's out of stock right now, but nice, simpler one. A little bit more up. It's called the what's this one here? The USB Gauge Mini Kit.
no, it's like a DIY kit.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
But you can also see the like indications of how many watts you're pulling.
Yeah. No LCD, just LEDs. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. A little bit cheaper.
Just a couple of different
Well, actually, a
ways
little
to check how much power you're actually pulling. And if we take a look at the overhead, you can see here that I'm only pulling like 0.8, 0.9. But that's only because I am plugged into the slower charging side of that. So if I plug it into the quote-unquote fast charging one,
Right.
you should see it go up just
This
a
is one of our
little bit.
battery banks that we carry in the shop. That's the bigger one.
Mhm.
I forget what the milliamps are. Is it like 20?
I think it's 44, something like that.
Let's do a quick search. Oh, I just had it. There it is.
I think, yeah. Oh, 1,000.
10,000
10,000,
milliamps.
yeah.
Woo! So this battery is what we're testing. It's right there.
Actually,
It's
this is why it's not showing.
It's supposed to be able to do 1 amp and 2 amps. But it's not really 2 amps. It's
Yeah.
like 1 point.
So another
Can you orient
like
the
another
numbers
thing
right?
to throw in there as well too
Other way.
is
You're upside down.
when your battery is halfway, it'll actually charge a lot faster than it
Right.
is when it's like at 80 or 90%. It'll like
Right.
trickle charge. So that's another thing too to keep in mind. Here we go. We're gonna like 104 amps on the fast charge. But then when we go to the slow charge one, it's like 0.8, 0.9. And of course, it's not going to cooperate because yours is almost already fully charged. So yeah, we're getting 0.7
Okay.
on that one. But yeah, you could definitely. We're going around like all the USB ports now and seeing what the actual power that it's pulling. So it's a nice little tool to play with.
Cool.
Moving on to the actual guide on assembly, super easy to do. As we mentioned before, we've done a couple of different projects with Qi chargers. Forget who said it in the chat room that their phone lacks Qi charging. Well, you can actually add that on. It's a nice little receiver, transmitter? Receiver.
Yes, it's a receiver.
We have a couple of different ones too. One's for micro USB and different lengths, as well as lightning port ones. There's
Even
a
a
couple
case.
different ones. We have cases. I like this one right here, 20 mil. Super skinny, flat. It has a little adhesive in the back that you can attach to any existing phone. You can turn it into a wireless charging.
Sweet.
So there are options to add on for that.
Cool. Let me go ahead and post that link so everybody can get that. If there are some 404s, let us know, or try it again, refresh. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Sometimes
YouTube
it
usually
happens.
mangles the links.
I guess, yeah. No. Okay.
So it's super easy in terms of the parts. All you need is just M3 screws, USB cable that's long enough to reach where you want to plug it into.
Right. It is micro USB, right?
Yeah, it's micro USB.
Okay, cool.
And then, of course, Cheetah and the Qi charger transmitter. Hopefully we get those back in stock soon. Every time we release a project for those.
Yep. You
we're
can
always
sign
out
up
of stock.
for notifications over here on the side. You can put your email in, and you'll get notified when we get them in stock.
Moving on to circuit diagram, which really is just
Yeah, there's no soldering involved. Don't be
plugging in. Yeah.
It's
For the stand, there was actually like some desoldering that you had to do just so you could thread the
You made a
the
stand.
coils.
Let
Yeah.
people- yeah. So Pedro made a stand before, just to kind of prop up the phone. We actually use them over here, and yeah, you can kind of desolder the pad and put it through something else. You can embed it if you'd like. That's a really cool thing to do. That's what's fun about this one. It's bare bones, so you make your own case. You embed it, put it in a book. We've done quite a few different things with it. I think Becky put it in her bag, which is really neat.
Yeah.
It's a really cool project.
There's a ton
so
of
you
different.
can sew it, you can mow it, you can. I don't have any cool things.
And of course, just mentioned the the charger doctor again in there.
Okay.
And then going on to 3D printing, the hero of this was the Ninjaflex TPU 2.85. Again,
Why is Ninjaflex so hard to print?
it's been, having all the settings set up and the profiles has taken quite a while for manufacturers and us ourselves as well. So we have the Cura profile default works perfectly for that, so you don't have to do any weird tweaking for that.
Well, let me step you back there. There's something called line width, and you might want to change it. This is why we share. I look like I was frustrated there for a second. You can change extrusion widths. And another fun note is we experimented with printing this with a bigger nozzle to print it faster. 0.6 millimeter nozzle.
Yeah, dramatically reduce the
Your common
speed.
printer is going to have 0.4, maybe 0.3 if you're printer bot. But increasing the nozzle diameter just makes you push out more plastic, meaning faster prints.
Yeah.
In certain cases.
And I want to clarify, it's physically adding a larger nozzle, not,
Bigger hole.
Yeah,
nozzle.
not changing the profile on that.
Right. So that you didn't need to you did need to change the profile on that. You need to change the line width, right?
Yes.
To like 0.7 something. That's not here because we switched back to the 0.4.
Yeah, that
just
worked.
to kind of keep it consistent so everybody doesn't have to go out and get a 0.6 nozzle.
And I verified that the tolerances did indeed work between the different nozzle sizes.
That's remarkable. But there's a little bit of play there with the screw holes, I guess.
But that's only because of the line direction, which we can show if you want to look at where the settings for that is.
Yeah, maybe we're going too fast. Do you have any examples of directions? Probably tossed it.
No, actually, it's right
cool.
here.
Okay, so here's something to know. Why was the direction changed, first of all? It was a mistake. We're playing with different settings.
Last print job.
Yeah, so there's something called top and bottom line directions, and that's the slicer telling the direction of how to kind of do these top and bottom solid layers, right? So if you look at these two, you can see that maybe they look the same, but if you look really close, you can see that on the right, they're going horizontally, right? The lines.
Horizontally and vertically. These, they're all going diagonally.
Right.
And that really...
That can change your tolerances, especially for screw
definitely
holes.
change the tolerance on the screws for that. So just be aware of that. If any time you print any of our designs and the tolerances are off, make sure if you're using slicer, I think the default is to do
We don't know.
horizontal and
So let
vertical.
us know if you know. What is your default line directions? Tell us in the comments. Yeah. So that's a setting you can find in Cura. You can just search for it. It's under the top and bottoms. It's under the shell category.
Yeah.
But everybody's going to have a different version of Cura. Maybe they're using 0.15, so I don't want to go show them exactly where. Just visual. This is... it might look good if you have a project that really needs those straight lines. Try it out. just be aware that your tolerances may change if you switch back to sort of the 45-degree diagonal.
Definitely recommend using a glass plate to get this nice shiny, like sticky sort of surface, so that your phone is able to grip onto it. So I definitely recommend doing that.
Very, very shiny.
I think it still does it with PIE or PEI.
No, Kirby says he gets a glass sheet and puts it on top.
Oh, okay, that's right. All right, so yeah, definitely glass, or I think Kapton should work as well.
Yeah.
Will give you the same sort of characteristics.
Cool. All right.
Tips
Anything
on that?
else of slice settings wise? We have them. We have a screenshot with more stuff, but we also broke it out in little bullet points of just exactly what we're doing here.
Orientation. Definitely want to have the flat on the
huge.
bed.
It almost fills the whole bed, doesn't it?
Yeah. So for
fairly
doing the
large.
dual extrusion on the Ultimaker 3, I actually had to position this
that way.
and then like scoot it over, because when you click on the center object, it was not centering it properly. So you actually have to manually move it until it is like within the boundary of the printing area. So just be aware of that if you are trying to print this on a similarly sized build area of a Ultimaker 3, because it is smaller because of the dual extrusion. So just keep that in mind.
Yep.
Next up.
Another thing I want to talk about is print speed. Normally when you're thinking about flexibles, you're like, oh, you got to print slow. You got to print really slow. Like
with
30
Cheetah,
millimeters.
though.
With Cheetah, if you print slow, your print will actually look worse. So
it can.
It's recommended to print it at 60 millimeters a second.
Yeah.
So that's why we have it listed there with a 120 travel speed.
Yeah.
But again, that's, it might change.
Moving on to the assembly.
Okay.
Oh,
want to talk about supports?
I forgot about that one. You do want to use supports on it just because of the cleaner, what are these called again? The little, like slots will come out a lot more cleaner if you use support material on that. Otherwise, it'll be like jaggy and like sharp. So definitely recommend that.
So you can print supports and flexible, right?
Yeah, and to
it seems
interface
to work.
between them, it comes off really clean. It doesn't like melt to
Were
it.
they regular
Doesn't fuse.
accordion style, or were they?
It's called
straight?
zigzag is what I
Zigzag?
used.
Okay.
And I did an excellent job of keeping, not fusing
Can
to
you get a good
the
look
actual
at,
part.
There is a chamfered edge there.
Yeah,
on
these are
the-
chamfered.
on the lip here.
And that's why
It doesn't look at all like there was support material here.
I
but
know,
I
that's
guess
why I'm
there
so
was.
surprised about it.
Oh, very sharp there.
Yeah, so the
Still
first couple
stretchy.
ones that I tried, I didn't use supports in. It did come out pretty jaggy, even though it has the chamfer on there. But again, just something to point out that supports work very well with Cheetah.
Okay.
And
Easy to remove?
Very easy to remove, yeah. And I just used 50% on there in the zigzag pattern for the supports.
Sweet.
Moving on to assembly,
Assembly. Cool.
which is pretty much just if you're using the dual color one. If you're using the snap fit one, it just aligns up to there. And we actually updated the design right before, or last night.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
ideally, why don't you make it
Nice
kind of
little
lip the whole circle? That way it has even more kind of area to snap into,
Yeah, so this
as
works.
opposed to just being like an offset with a little bit of
Yeah.
flange.
And that just pushes through. And if you are designing a different icon, like say if you wanted to brand this or put your own name or whatever on it, definitely recommend. What was it? The 0.1 for the offset, just so that it slips through.
Yeah, sure. I think an offset would be well for the actual hole, the cutout.
Yes, the whole.
Yeah.
So I would keep that geometry for that, just so it pushes through, and then whatever your icon is, just make sure it fits within that hole or within that circle of which is pretty much just the coil for the plate.
Right. And again, it's just an indicator to let you know where the right spot is. Because without it, you're just like, you're kind of moving it around like, did I put it in the right spot? Where's that coil?
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a big pad.
And then moving on to actually mounting the coil. As we
What
said, TPU definitely needed for this just because of the way the slots work. The standoffs are pretty close to where the slot is, so you are going to need to...
It's more of a holder.
Yeah, more of a holder. And you can
Cavity.
kind of see it over the overhead.
We need new words.
Now you can see there that you do have to have some flex so it does pop through like that. Otherwise, if you're using a rigid material, that's not going to really work for that. Just pops in like that. then we're just using the M3 screws on the standoffs, which work very well for that. They don't just slip out. They actually have some nice tight tolerances, so they screw in
Yeah.
and hold the board together. Very nice. The edge is an extra part that just snaps in, just so we don't have to print that as a
The
separate
edge,
piece.
the bottom bumper is what you named it here.
Yeah. Motor bumper for that.
Yeah.
And that is what's holding the phones up so they don't slip into the console.
Yeah. Yep.
And micro USB cable to plug into. You don't want it to be so long because you do get some amp dropping the longer the cable is.
Okay.
So just make sure that
Sure.
it's long enough to reach your.
We were trying to get a shot of the charge doctor, and we used a USB extension, and that dropped it significantly. We're like,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Maybe it was
Something-
an old cable or something. But
Maybe,
no.
yeah. But something
gauge.
as short as you can get is what you'll get the most power out of it. And then it's mounting it to, in our case, the center console of the 3 here. It's simple as just grabbing the corner of that mat, replacing it.
Yeah, there was no glue, there was no screws. It literally comes off.
Yeah,
Like, which is really great.
Yeah, the registration marks all line up and they just
It's kind of
snap
modular
in.
in that sense. So it's pretty neat. Yeah.
And then you just channel or insert the wires into the channels that they have.
The hard backing they have is nice because it articulates up and it has these like little kind of pegs or holders, whatever, for the cable. So it's nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Just install it.
Oh.
We've been using it for about 2 weeks now, and
Yeah.
it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Or like the
Just don't think about it. Just like put it
yeah,
there.
just pop it right in. Constant notification, so you're able to quickly look down, check it if you need to respond to work email or whatever you can.
You shouldn't.
And
You're driving.
a red light, or
Nope.
if you have autopilot turned on. And that's pretty much it. This week's super easy modular project. Of course, all of the Fusion 365. So if you want to adjust any of the dimensions to fit your center console, all the mounting holes for the Qi charger, the position
I
of the
would
coil,
Just take that. Yeah, just take those kind of mounting holes and put it in
the
your
sketches
own
for
thing.
that.
Right.
Yeah, just import those into whatever project you have. Definitely recommended for simplifying your charging experience while commuting. If you guys want to pick up any of these,
Yeah, so
Cheetah?
obviously, yeah, I was going to talk about this, of course, and then we do have a lot of flexible filaments.
Oh,
we
yeah,
have
yeah.
a category for flexible filaments. There's a little discussion here in the YouTube chat talking about how all the links are weird in YouTube.
I know, I don't know what
I
it
guess
does
check
there.
the description. I'll put it in there. Facebook seems to take it okay. So there's our category 783. That's for all of our flexible stuff. And I want to know, we're not getting rid of 175 filament. We have a lot of 175 filament. Let's get some 285 filament, huh? So that's what we're doing. We got some different colors as well. Again, Cheetah is different than regular Ninjaflex.
It's not going to have that the elastic characteristics.
Right. And
But
it's a little
it
bit less grippy, maybe.
It is a little bit less grippy, yeah.
A little bit. And there's more colors in 175. Yeah. What else did I say? That was it.
We'll be looking at more colors to get. Yeah, we
Yeah.
were checking out the translucent color and
Oh,
the
look, there's a
steel
good deal
color.
on this white Cheetah 175 for only $30.
That actually works very well for diffusion.
2 in stock.
NeoPixels, if
It
you want to
does.
like do the flexible
Yeah.
unicorn.
And you can print really fast.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. If you, yeah, we got quite a few projects and stuff that you can check out if you're interested in doing some flexible filament stuff. But yeah, we got a lot of it. Yep. Okay, cool. So anyway, if you want to use coupon code Cheetah, you can get 10% off your order on those filaments.
Moving on to what we've been prototyping this week.
Sure. Got some stuff in the works. Would you like to go first?
You want to go first?
I can go first. So yeah, last week I showed you guys an automatic dice roller that I'm working on to allow disabled people to play dice and other types of games, maybe some math activities and whatnot. And while I was prototyping this, you know, DC motors are one of those things that are kind of. Did you turn it off?
Maybe.
Yeah.
There you go.
No, I had it on because that's the way it works. So
Take over.
a DC motor is one of those weird things that kind of flop around, right, when you're prototyping it. So it's not really breadboard friendly. So what I do is I just took out the mount piece for the DC motor and made it its own little piece. And there's a lot of things you could benefit from just printing out one small mounting piece instead of printing your entire enclosure. when you do that, you can print it faster and you can test the tolerances without having to spend hours printing this bigger thing. So there's just a piece of the enclosure, right? Another thing is you can test out the right thickness that you want to have. Like you don't want it to be too thin. I can squish on this and it won't kind of break on me, which is nice. It's got a really flat bottom. It's got like a 1 millimeter or 0.8 millimeter flat bottom, so it prints in like 7 minutes, which is awesome. And the way this mount works is super easy. It just slots in like that. That's it. It's done. It holds in place pretty well. It's got a nice kind of, it's a snug fit, but it's still easy to pop it out. A lot of the times when you have a snug fit, you're like struggling to take it off, you might break something. So it's nice that it has that bit of friction, but it's still easy to pop it out. Yeah, so this is the circuit for next week's project, which is again an automatic dice roller.
It's fun because you can use this for different
LED
sets
mode.
of like cosplay projects. So that like you just push a button and it starts moving.
Yeah, I'll have to play with it more. The LED's not working. It was last night. What happened? So another thing with breadboards, they kind of suck. Anyway, pretty cool little thing. I'll share this mount if anybody wants it. It'll, you know what? It's an STL already, so why not? It'd probably be a really good idea to just print this out before printing the whole enclosure to make sure that your settings are within the same parameters of making a nice tight fit for these. So cool. So if you're working with motors, DC motors, and you want a way to mount it, it's a pretty decent way. And you might have seen Lamar, Lady Ada, has been looking at some motors and stuff, working on a circuit playground powered robot. This is right up that alley of figuring out how to mount motors and such. Pretty cool. That's really it I have, just to kind of make your own little mounts and stuff for these kind of components that aren't necessarily breadboard friendly.
Very cool.
Oh, cool. Yeah, this is a good idea to hold motors. Playing with some servos, and they are flopping everywhere. Yeah. This is a nice grippy surface. So if you put this on a hardwood, it like kind of torques a little bit because it's got a lot of torque in the motor. See, good way to make a brush spot. So it kind of moves a little bit. Yeah. Oh, and also there's a diode here to drop the voltage from 9 volts to 5 volts, so it doesn't. Because the DC motor is rated for 6 volts, anything higher could blow it up. I have wired it directly to the battery, but with a lot of, play, it might burn it out. So, diode to the rescue. What did Adabot say? Protector of circuits, diode. Yeah. Cool. So that's what I got prototyping.
Yeah. So this will be released next week. Nice design. If you haven't checked it out on behind the scenes of the, Instagram, you can see some good
Just look at last week's show. I talk about the whole thing. I take it apart.
Yeah.
Really.
Some super cuteness that I've been prototyping. Phil wanted a Lego Adabot to go along with future project, so here is a tiny baby Adabot. Yeah. Completely Lego compatible. All the pieces come
real Lego?
off.
Here you go.
Yeah, it's the exact same scale as a minifig. All the hands work. The studs all work. They all put together. The head, you all
Master
moves.
fighting.
Yeah, the hand, like everything is all like little separate pieces.
That's
so
amazing.
the arms, the hands, the legs, they all pop off.
This is fresh off the printer. I'm a couple of minutes ago, it came off the printer. This is using a 0.25 millimeter nozzle, printed on the Ultimaker 3. 0.25 millimeter nozzles are available for kind of spare, the bare bone nozzle. So you can experiment with it. Did you have to do any layer line width changes?
I just used whatever the defaults for the 2.5 profiles were on the Ultimaker.
We're finally at the stage where we can just click a thing and not worry about all the slice settings.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Is it getting better?
That was actually,
sound?
I hated that about printing because you always had to first get all your profiles correct. I hate how that was always the first thing that you actually had to do with 3D printing. Now.
And then with other software that might be paid, it's a little bit difficult to export and import, and
they all operate differently. Yeah, but super cute.
Oh, people want it. Kitten really wants it.
Yeah, these will be. This will be available. Yeah. Probably it'll be the week after the motor.
If you look on
project.
Thingiverse, somebody has been able to make a 1-to-1 scale of the minifigs,
and that's
with a
actually
0.4
what I've
nozzle,
been referencing.
I think.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it was printed with a Prusa.
So it should work.
So it should
This
work.
is just like for detail. I gotta fix like warping that's going on right there. But yeah, like you said,
Let me
fresh
get
off the bed from last night.
Let me get some more focus.
So
All right,
the
get
work,
up there. There we go. A little bit more.
yeah, so still some work to do in
I'll
terms
stay there.
of getting the ear separated. So these all move. Right now it's
Oh,
just
he's got a little bit
fused.
of sack under his chin as well. I didn't notice that.
Yes, so I'll fix that.
Interesting.
We'll adjust the.
I really didn't think his ears would print. His
I didn't think
antennae.
these little hands would print. Like, I'm amazed. But I'll be sharing more behind the scenes of that.
This is
later.
PLA from Melt Ink 3D.
And this is the teal color
About
that we
blue.
have.
It's like what we call it. Yeah, teal.
And it's so freaking adorable.
It is adorable. Good job.
So happy that it worked out.
Yeah.
So we'll look at that, release the files in like 2 weeks.
You can hold your cables too.
Yep. Holds the cables, holds, which is primarily what this is supposed to do. And the other project that it's linked to, we'll release that right after yours. Or I'll show it off probably next week as well.
The legs are removable.
Yes, they are removable.
Everything's removable. You want a
where
spudger?
is- Just use
Use
one
a
of these.
spudger.
It's not as thin, but
I
yeah.
want a spudger.
Let's see if I can. There you go. And they are interchangeable too with other Lego. Like all of these work. Like again, I am like super surprised.
Cool pants, Adabot. I
Yeah.
really like them.
So, and of course the hands, the
I wanna
arms, they
swap
all.
Their pants.
I know, right? It's probably what Gavin's gonna be doing,
Can you
swapping
make
all
him
the
go,
heads.
Where are my pants? Imagine Adabot coming up to Lady Ada.
Yeah.
Lady Ada, where are my pants? Coupon code. Wait, it's not working. Cheetah.
Cheetah, if you want to pick those up.
Don't forget, Cheetah. Check out.
Yes, the legs are removable as well, so you can even have different
I'm
legs.
giddy too. Kitten's saying she's giddy. Or he,
Dude,
person is giddy.
I've been giddy like all night. Like I woke up, like jumped out of the bed going, did this print finish and work? Oh.
I
So-
sort of collect minifigs. That's great. I've
This is a
seen
great way to
a pretty awesome
customize.
collection
Yeah.
of minifigs.
Yeah, so super cool. I need to, because again, I do get giddy too, just looking
Okay.
at how freaking cute they are. Moving on.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're prototyping. Cuteness. You want to do shop talk?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this week's shop talk. We got some more 285 filament in the shop.
Yes, we
We
do.
have magnetic rustable iron as
Check
well
out
as
adafruit.com/new. We'll show you all the stuff that we got in the shop. Hopefully some more stuff coming. But yeah, let's start off with rustable iron filament. This stuff, we started selecting this stuff in 2016. We've been experimenting with it a little bit. Haven't really made a project with it, but we do have some footage of us playing with different techniques. You can polish this stuff. Again, we've had this stuff for 175 millimeter diameter, but we're finally getting 285 millimeter diameter for, you know, Ultimakers and lull spots and whatnot. So here what we're doing is we polished one, we didn't polish another one, just with a little bit of sanding, and we're using some vinegar and salt.
Actually, I think the whole story behind this is we were testing different filament companies' rusting abilities, I believe.
No, I think it was the same
Was it?
part. One of them was polished and the other one wasn't,
okay.
just to see if that affected it or not. So we don't really remember what we're doing here, but we do know it's
This
like,
was 2-3 years ago, something like that.
yeah, 2016. So I guess you can let this dry out. There's resources out there. This is just us playing with it, goofing around.
I mean,
You
it
can see
worked.
Peroxide
It
is a
looks
little bit here.
fantastic in terms of the way that it rusts. It stops looking like a 3D printed object.
Yeah, it's
So-
pretty neat. You can electroplate it, which is pretty nuts.
It's magnetic too.
It's
We used
magnetic,
it-
which we actually used it in
the Star Trek.
Star Trek communicator comm badge.
Mhm.
So yeah, pretty interesting. Look at that rust. Don't drink this.
And then the other one is the conductive filament that we also have in stock too for 285.
That's right. There it
Again,
is.
the reason that we're getting this is because just the ooze control that the Ultimaker 3 is able to do for doing dual extrusion prints is phenomenal.
Right. So what can you do with conductive filament?
So the past projects that we've done were the battery coin tester. So all it is just an LED.
Look at that. That's plastic.
Yeah.
Electrons flowing through plastic. Who would have thunk?
So dual extruded, and this was such a messy dual extrusion on the FlashForge.
It's on
Creative
borderline
Pro,
like fail. It's like,
but it still
it
works.
still worked.
Yeah. So I definitely want to see what something that has a lot better ooze control.
Yeah.
I wanna
We're
see
getting
what
that filament like tomorrow, I think, because we're putting the order in today.
Yeah.
And yeah, shout out to the Protopasta folks. They make some great filament. Protopasta is a great team of dudes making like artisan filaments. So you want to see the overhead?
Yeah, so this is what it looks like to extruded.
Yeah.
I don't remember what I printed this one on. I think it was the BCN. But yeah, all it
Maybe it was
is
the
or, I don't believe.
Oh yeah, because
so. We didn't have 285 for that.
Right.
So super simple. You just line up the positive and negative, and you can see if the coin has enough juice to power
a little sequin.
a little sequin on
A little bit of
it.
help of the bare conductive paint as well. I think.
That's actually what's holding it. Yeah. Now with the 285 or the 0.25 millimeter nozzle,
Oh, you can probably print something. Yeah.
I can hopefully make like a slot that is high definition
Clicks
enough
in,
to click it in. But nice simple design you can do with the conductive. There are also a couple of cool projects that Protopasta themselves have made, like the capacitive touch gamepad.
Yeah, great for assistive tech as well. So we got those in the shop. Again, we already had 175. We're starting to add 285 to our inventory. Okay, we're not getting away from 175.
Yeah,
make that clear. Stop commenting on YouTube telling us we're making a wrong decision, because we're not.
Yeah, we'll be getting the Prusa. I don't know, next
i3
month or
yeah,
two.
that's an order.
And we're
They're still building.
gonna try we got the multi extrusion kit as well, so we kind of need the 175 for that.
Yeah, surreal. Matable was saying, I was looking if there was any filament with iron, as I need to build a magnetic hook.
Yeah, that's actually why I picked that over the steel.
Right.
The steel, all you can do is really polish it.
Right.
The
But this
iron,
one's magnetic and
magnetic,
rustable.
you can polish it and you can rust it.
Where is the 175 version?
That should be right
This
there.
one.
Yeah. So
Just
we have it on
scroll
175 as
down.
well.
This is what we used it on. We used it on this com badge for CNC milled, but with a 3D printed add-on.
We also use
There
the
it is,
conductive on
magnetic.
your NPR radio.
We used conductive filament, yeah, as a
filament for
capacitive
that.
touch buttons, which worked really well. There's the little magnetic piece there that attaches really well to this neodymium magnet.
Yep.
So that worked really well. Yeah, it's enough to hold all that weight, because that brass is heavy, man. That's real brass. That ain't no fake brass. That's real brass. I've CNC milled. Anyway.
Lots of good uses for that. I like how everything feels like it's fresh and brand new again, because
Oh yeah, these materials coming back. Yeah, we did all this stuff 2 years ago.
all because of profiles being updated,
Dual
things all
extruder
work
machines,
now.
0.2 nozzles, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And even 0.6 nozzles, print bigger things.
Yeah. So we will be doing more of that. Be on the lookout for those.
Imagine a
cool
rusty
projects.
Adabot with like conductive
That would look pretty
feelers.
cool. Yeah.
Just shooting the
Yeah.
breeze.
Pretty cool. Okay, moving on to contest from Pin Shape. That's still going on.
Actually, can we step back one thing? I wanted to give a shout out to Liz Clark
Yes.
from YouTube channel BlitzCityDIY. Just released, well, not just released, but this week released her guide on the NeoPixel dialer. Where's mine? Where did I put it? I printed it. Yay, I got the parts today, so I'm going to build one. I'm really looking forward to that. Maybe I'll do it today.
Super handy in terms of figuring out what colors look the best in real life. As I said last week, it's one thing, using the color picker to find out what, color is closely related to whatever cosplay thing that you're making, but when you actually render those out in real life, they look completely different. So super handy way of verifying that those colors are true to what you're trying to reproduce.
Whoops. I'm spamming my own Facebook feed. Yeah, so check out her video. She's got a great video on kind of the process of working with it and some neat things.
Yeah, so it's RGB and HSV as well.
Right.
So if you don't want to do that conversion to RGB, quickly do it that way as well. And it's CircuitPython as well as Arduino.
Yeah, so that's awesome. So you can take the code with you. Where you go. Yep, so you can 3D print the parts now. They're up on Thingiverse. And thank you for sharing the SnapFit case. A lot of people seem to like it. So hopefully we'll see more of these type of designs. So less machine screws necessary to put stuff together, which is pretty neat. Very cool.
And machine screws is, for the case, it just takes up more room that you need to when you add a screw. So the SnapFit definitely wins in that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Sweet. All right, so shout out to Liz. Check her out on the YouTubes. We'll put a link down below. And of course, go to learn.adafruit.com to build your own. Okay, next up.
Super cool.
Contests. We like video games, props, and we've done a couple of contests before with PinShape. PinShape is a repository marketplace for 3D designs. Really nice site. Check it out. There's a contest going on. It's got 31 days. We talked about maybe 2 weeks ago. There's an opportunity to win some 3D printers and some $8 Adafruit gift cards specifically. So there are some entries. You got all the rules and stuff. I'll go ahead and put that in there. And Facebook as well. Hello, Facebook. Yeah, so there's rules and stuff like that, but I think that most of it is make something from a video game, like a prop.
Yeah, and looking at this again, we were reminded, oh no.
We've done quite a few, so if you got an idea, but you're not sure how to put together the circuit, or how to light it up, or how to code it, we got a lot of different samples. Some that don't need microcontrollers, others that do. There's some sound effects boards that require no programming. There's a lot of different things out there now. Now is the best time to, if you're a cosplayer, costume person, props maker, getting into electronics is getting a lot nicer.
Yep. Because with the drop in the price for like the larger bed printers also.
And printers.
Yeah, so we were thinking, oh no, what cosplay prop are we going to make this year? And I think the consensus is they're all saying the chainsaw.
You want a chainsaw
sword
from
from
Zelda.
Link, yeah.
From Link.
From Zelda.
Yeah, here's some awesome entries.
Whoa, look at that Warhammer one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy Jesus. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff. So shout out to everybody who's entering in the contest.
Very cool.
Okay. Let's jump into Community Makes, right?
Yeah, this week's Time-Lapse Tuesday
Right.
was
So Makes.
this very cool.
If you didn't see the video, let's roll it now. So this was a dual extruded test print on the Ultimaker 3 using the Melt ink, specifically the teal and the magenta. It took about 8 hours.
Standard
and
settings.
Looks pretty awesome.
Yeah.
This is a
relatively low infill settings for that.
okay.
Because I was fully expecting this to sink.
Yeah,
and
this was
to
great.
our surprise, it floated very well.
It's floating. This is regular PLA.
Huh.
Brandy even submerged it, and you can see like little air holes coming out.
Mm-hmm. It just floats up to the top. Yeah.
That's awesome. So it's watertight, sort of.
Yeah, there is no water in it. Like after she got back from the pool, I was sitting there, shaking it to see if there was any water in there, and it's pretty watertight, even though it looks like it's not.
It looks like it's not. That's great.
So if you look on the overhead, I am just impressed with the how well it was able to do in terms of not contaminating the other colors.
Yeah. So with dual extrusion, that's normally what you kind of get.
Oh my
Another
God, yeah.
thing is that there was no waste. There's no purge tower.
There's no purge tower on this.
There's no ooze shields.
Yeah. Look at that little. And this was printed at 0.2 millimeter layer height with a 0.4 millimeter extruder. So the quality of this could be even better. Insane. Like, let me get that right.
Yeah.
Try to look for like an ugly side.
Yeah, where's the
Maybe
ugly
these
side?
little
Maybe those
dots
little
right there.
bumps, little Z-seams?
Yeah, there was no cleanup on this either, so you can see the overhangs right here.
Look at the steering wheel on the inside of the top floor.
Yeah.
Look at the little steering wheel. Isn't that cute?
A little bit of under extrusion I can see here.
There you go. Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
No. But there's a lot of detail still for what it is. It's kind of chunky too. The layer lines like a little chunky
Yeah.
relative to the
I thought this was like
under extrusion. No.
under extrusion was actually detail,
That's
so I
actually-
could reproduce that. There was no scaling on this. So
As you
this
can
is
see, there's no cleanup here on this arc.
Yeah, I didn't do any cleanup on any of the arcs. I wanted to see what the overhang looked like on that. And again, blown away by
It's default settings, right?
just default
0.2 layer
settings.
height?
Yeah, printing at 70 millimeters a second.
Well, awesome. Let's take a look at the designer who put this together.
Oh yeah,
He actually produces quite a few boat designs on Thingiverse. So this is the remix file from Sippus, but the original designer, which is right here, the original model, he just split this up into different colors, which is a great test for something like the multi-extruder upgrade for Prusa.
which is clearly what he's using there.
But the person goes by handle Van Dragon.
D.
Says he's in Germany. Look at these amazing designs, these boats.
Fantastic.
Phenomenal designs.
I like those giant Titanic-looking ones.
It's crazy. And he's on Thingiverse. I mean, Instagram. And there's a lot of great progress here. Printing different types of material. This is matte fiber, I believe, from Protopasta.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Super cool.
Printed on a Prusa, I think. Yeah, Prusa MK2S.
Yeah. Check out
Super
that Titanic
awesome.
one.
Is that a Prusa?
Insane.
I don't know. Yeah. Very cool.
Definitely
Different
follow
nozzles.
on
Look at
all
that.
of the channels there. If you want to see some more really cool boat
Down to
designs.
1,000 scale.
Wow. Those are cool bath toys and very sturdy as well. Gavin's actually been playing with this for a while, like slamming it on the floor, and I was like, this is going to be the first thing to go, but yeah. Or like the ladder, but
You could print the entire Navy. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll go a little project if you want to, I don't know,
boats.
make like for like the, what is the motorboat paddle?
Paddle
Paddle battle, like for maker fairs.
Yeah. Very fun.
Definitely a nice hull to use.
I think a
for
great
your
upgrade
design.
to this would be to sort of a remix. Would be to kind of hollow out the bottom, put a little battery
Little motor,
coin cell. Oh, even a motor. I was thinking just the coin cell.
That's what people were saying. Those would be very handy for that.
Yeah.
Awesome job.
All right.
Next up, we got some makes.
Yep. More community makes.
One that is very relevant to recent movies coming out. We have the Wasp helmet that I made a couple years ago now. Finally, it's relevant again.
2015, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you made this with like a screenshot at the very, very end of a movie. It was all like low res.
Yeah.
So things changed, but hey. Shout out to Thingiverse user Ali55 who printed this out on a CR10.
Nice.
Awesome. It's really giving people the ability to print helmets. Once you print a helmet, you're like, holy moly, I can put this down on my head. This is crazy.
Yeah.
We're immune to it now. It's like, yeah, whatever. But hey, that's still pretty awesome.
I can just grab
Okay,
mine
grab it.
real quick.
Paige is grabbing it.
Does it still fit
Does
me?
it still fit you? Has your head increased in size?
Let's see. Hey, it still fits.
Can you just wear that for the rest of the show?
So it's super cool. Erin saying Blaine actually did some paint work on her version of this.
Right. She embedded electronics, of course.
Yeah, I got some NeoPixels in here. I just don't have the battery hooked up to it. But it's 3 pieces. Super cool. If you just want to use the outer like shell of it to modify for whatever like helmet you want to make.
Yeah. Isn't it sculpted too or something?
Yeah, it's using sculpting, the sculpting environment in Fusion.
Oh, this could be done a lot better now too with the new techniques of unfolding.
Oh,
Or even just projecting it the right way,
because
I
there's
think.
definitely distortion on the, if you look at the overhead, the sides. Oh, you can't really see it. Yeah, it starts getting distorted right here because of the way that I folded this first and then cut through to create this mesh. Now we would just
Wear for show and tell tonight.
yeah.
Vasty
So-
from the Vasty.
Yep, there's always cool updates for techniques you learn later on. So it's pretty cool.
Yep. Another one.
I'm gonna start.
Another prop. This is Gunblade from Final Fantasy. Printed on a CR10. Another CR10 print.
Yeah.
By Glitch Override on Thingiverse. Glitch Override even made like a little stand for his wall, which is awesome. Look at that.
Very nice.
Very, very nice work. This is a fully rotating print in place piece. The I don't know what it's called, the gun thing.
Barrel.
The barrel, the revolver. It revolves.
And we're using Ninjaflex
Look at that
for the
detail on that
handle as
line.
well.
It's amazing. Yeah, Ninjaflex on the detail. You don't have to, but you could for better grips.
Yeah, it gives it a nice grip.
CR10, man. Wow. Very cool. Sweet. So those are the makes that we have this week. And if you guys want to share anything with us, you can reach us at all the social channels. They're up there, the little @, at Adafruit. That's pretty much it for the show. Don't forget, coupon code is Cheetah. Later tonight, I believe we have Show and Tell and Ask Engineer. Last week.
That is all back now.
Yeah. Last week they took a break, and this week they're back.
Yep.
And Lady Ada had a desk with Lady Ada on Saturday, which was really fun. Take a look at some motors that she's looking to stock or play with.
Some more samples that we're taking a look at for some future robot projects.
Yep. Also, you'll get a chance to get another coupon code then tonight.
Mhm.
And you can get some free stuff as well. If you come on the show and tell, you get a free sticker. If you call in and give us those 3 magic answers,
Yeah.
then you can win whatever we're giving away that day. Normally, it's something really new and nice.
And don't forget, if you want to show off your project as well, 7:30 Eastern Time tonight, you can check us out on the Show and Tell. Show off your project.
Get a
Give you a
sticker.
Google Hangout link for that.
Right.
We'll be
Hang out in
there.
the chats, hang out in Discord, and you'll get invited or just sent a link. And we'll drop out so that people can come in. We'll let you know.
Yeah.
Because it's always full.
And then tomorrow,
Jump Park,
Fox Workshop,
4
little
p.m.
projects.
Eastern Time.
Mhm.
Check it out. We'll be hanging out in the chat room. Get a chance to see live building.
Yes.
Sweet. All right. Well, that's pretty much it for the show. If you guys have any last comments and stuff, let us know. You guys should get a CR10 in stock, yeah.
Yeah, we started looking at it, but
Mhm.
I think everybody wants the Prusa, so limited bandwidth, so we can only pick one. So
Sorry, just hit our door.
yeah, I think it's packages.
I hope that's the Prusa. No, that's okay. Well, sweet. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Again, you can come by later tonight, win some stuff, show some stuff. Don't forget, coupon code is Cheetah. Supports all the lovely people that get to work at Adafruit every day. It's kind of cold up there, so let's keep them warm.
Yeah. Thank you all for watching. See you guys next week, and don't forget to make a great day.
Yeah, that's it. Bye, everybody.
See you guys.
And the music.